Thank you so much for joining us for this Thursday's COVID-19 press briefing. Today, Orange County Mayor Jerry L. Demings will discuss the amendment to the facial covering order and provide details regarding vaccine. Mayor Demings will also give some clarity to vaccine locations and the places that they will be transitioning to. The mayor will also discuss testing locations, positivity rates, and introduce some folks who have been on the front lines on our testing efforts. He will also have details from Animal Services, who has been really working hard to keep our pets alive and healthy. Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer could not be here with us today. However, Dr. Yolanda Martinez, the Director of Orange County Health Services, is here to discuss the one-year anniversary since we began testing, and Dr. Raul Pino from the Florida Department of Health is also here as well. We will begin with Mayor Demings. Mayor.
All right, good afternoon. Thank you to Dr. Williamson, and thank you to all of you, the media, for joining us once again. We depend on you to help us communicate to our citizens, so I do appreciate the fact that you were here yesterday and helped us to share the information about the update regarding our executive order. And so with that, just as a reminder, we are currently at 43.66% of our population ages 16 and above who have received one or more doses of the vaccine. Obviously, that means that we have 7% more to reach those who are eligible for the vaccine to get vaccinated before we can transition to phase 2 of the process. Dr. Pino shared with all of you yesterday that he believes that that could take 2 to 3 weeks, could take longer. But we are optimistic that we're going to get additional people in our community inoculated. At the time we shared with you yesterday that the mask mandate would be lifted on all individuals when we reach that 70% of our population that is eligible, 16 or older. And so we hope that we get there sooner than later, but at least I believe that from the community's perspective, they know what the goal is at this point. So even to those who are critics, I say to them, when I say critics, those who don't believe that the vaccine is something that is science-based and they don't intend to get it, I just hope that even they change their mind about getting vaccinated. As a reminder, the final day to receive first doses at the drive-through Orange County Convention Center site is Saturday, just a couple of days away, May the 1st. You must pre-register for an appointment at ocfl.net/vaccine. With the Florida Department of Health in Orange County closing the Convention Center vaccination site on May the 22nd, we are announcing alternative sites throughout our county so residents can get vaccinated. There will be free walk-up COVID-19 vaccination sites at our 4 Magic Gyms. The centers are located throughout the county. The sites will be at the following locations: Goldenrod Recreation Center Gymnasium, the Meadowwoods Recreation Center Gymnasium, the South Econ Recreation Center Gymnasium, and the West Orange Gymnasium as well. These sites will be operated between the hours of 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. as we begin Tuesday through Thursday, and then on Friday through Sunday, they will operate only between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. So 9 to 7 Tuesday through Thursday, 9 to 5 Friday through Sunday. All the sites will be closed on Monday. No appointments are needed, and the sites can do up to 1,000 vaccinations of Pfizer each day. As a reminder, for 16 and 17-year-old residents, a parent or legal guardian must sign a consent form as well as be present at the time that the younger person or young adult will be vaccinated. I will share with you vaccination numbers from our 3 high schools in just a moment. Our COVID-19 mobile vaccination program inoculated more than 500 individuals this week at Meadowwoods Recreation Center. The team is at Goldenrod Recreation Center today and will also be there tomorrow, Friday, between the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Since the start of the pandemic, there have been a reported nearly 136,000 positive cases of the novel coronavirus we refer to as COVID-19 within Orange County. 1,246 of our residents have died from the virus. That's up slightly. Dr. Pino will share with you the details that he can about the demographics of those who have now died. So that just is a poignant reminder that the virus is still in our community, and it is a deadly virus. The 14-day positivity rate has gone down slightly to 7.9%. So as we edge slowly towards the 5% or better, we still have a ways to go. As we continue to administer vaccinations, COVID testing is still very important and necessary in our community. That's why we are extending the free drive-through testing at Barnett Park through May the 30th. The site will continue to operate 7 days per week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and offer both the PCR and antigen or rapid tests. There's still a strong demand for getting tested within our community. Yesterday at Barnett Park, the Orange County Health Services team administered 1,332 tests. Today marks the one-year anniversary of health services offering free testing throughout our community. In total, the team created 28 sites throughout the county over time and administered 242,026 tests. Here today, I'm joined with the Director of Orange County Health Services, Dr. Yolanda Martinez, and some of her staff who have been working hard in the field, providing residents with testing. These are the individuals who have been standing out in the cold, the hot, the rain, for extended periods of time, offering free testing to our residents. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of our personnel for their hard work and dedication in keeping our residents safe. Dr. Martinez will speak about our testing efforts in just a few moments. This has truly been a team effort. The testing team not only includes health services staff, but personnel from Orange County Fire Rescue, as well as other support staff from various other departments within the county. So thank you to our entire county family for making a difference in our community. For more information about testing, you can go to our website at ocfl.net/testing. With our success of the Barnett Park testing location beginning this Saturday, May the 1st, a drive-through COVID-19 vaccination lane will also be added to the site and run during the same dates and times as the testing. In other words, our Barnett Park vaccination site will run 7 days per week between the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The good news here is that no appointments are necessary, but up to 750 doses of Pfizer vaccine can be administered each day. For more information, go to ocfl.net/vaccine. If you do not know where Barnett Park is, it's easy to find. Orange County Public Schools held free vaccination clinics after school yesterday at Evans, Jones, and Colonial High Schools. I'm happy to report that almost 600 people, including many of our young people, were able to get their shots. Because of the overwhelming interest of all three high schools, Again, Evans, Jones, and Colonial, we will host vaccination events this Saturday, May the 1st, beginning at 8 a.m. These vaccination events are open to anyone 16 years of age or older, and the vaccine is available at no cost. They are all walk-up events, open to the public, first come, first served, while supplies last. We hope you will take advantage of this opportunity. Ms. Sherry Babinski from the Orange County Public Schools is here to answer any questions when we get to that period of time about those activities. And now I want to thank Hills Science Diet for donating nearly 5 tons of pet food to Orange County's Animal Services. On Wednesday this week, Animal Services held a pet food giveaway, and 500 families benefited from Hill's generosity. 10 pallets of dog and cat food helped these pet owners keep their beloved animals in their homes. The distribution took just under 3 hours. This was the 3rd pet food giveaway since the start of the pandemic. Thanks to events like this and partnerships from those in our community, we have been able to assist our residents, and in many cases, some would have been forced to surrender their pets due to financial constraints had this opportunity not been made available. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Martinez, who will share some information with you about the experience of her staff members who went out and were working at the various sites over time. So, Dr. Martinez.
Thank you very much, Mayor, and good afternoon to everyone. It's a pleasure to be here, most of all on a day like today, April 29th, which marks the 1-year anniversary of the Orange County COVID-19 testing efforts through health services, and as the Mayor mentioned, with the partnership and collaboration of many other units within Orange County, not only Orange County government itself, but some of the other participants in the community as well. We started testing at Ventura Elementary School and the South Orange Youth Complex simultaneously. Between April of last year and November, the team moved around, as the Mayor mentioned, to around 28 different sites, covering the county from north to south, from east to west. And the idea was to be able to give the residents as much opportunity as possible to get tested in the areas where they reside. On November 9th, the team settled in the central location of the county at Barnett Park, and they have been there providing testing 7 days a week since then. The team has done over 242,000 tests, as the Mayor mentioned, and distributed over 1.7 million bottles of hand sanitizer and over 5 million masks while they've been at that site and before. So I wanted to give special thanks to the Orange County Fire Rescue Team, who was there with the Health Services team shoulder to shoulder since the beginning, providing testing, and to many of the other partners that helped along the way, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Orange County Public Schools, municipalities, etc. Special kudos go to the hardworking staff that ventured into the unknown. And many of you remember at the beginning of the pandemic doing testing and the scary component and the having to cover up and having to be out there. So they were very, very brave to venture into the unknown and endure the very hot and wet summers of 1920. So, I'm sorry, of 2020. I'm sure 1920 was very wet. Summer was also hot and wet. But we have to give them credit for making that sacrifice and being out there and being able to provide the testing that was so much needed around those days. So I want to recognize test site managers that have been here since the very, very beginning. And the role of these individuals is to march into the site every single day in the morning and make sure everything's going well, to get ready for the residents that come to get tested, and stay there throughout the day and troubleshoot and help and solve problems. And I want to introduce Daniella Sullivan. If you can please join me up here for a second, because I'm going to ask you guys to say a couple words. Blaine Mustaine and Alexandra Nixon. And if you could please share a couple of your thoughts of what has been your experience, emotional and physical, in helping out in the testing sites or guiding the testing sites.
Well, good afternoon. For me, of course, it has been an honor to be part of this amazing team. I always said to the team that if in Orange County, if something needs to happen, it will happen if you put the same team together. So it has been a pleasure to be part of them. From a personal perspective, of course, it has been a lesson that taught me the real value or the real meaning of courage and engagement and commitment and selfness to put all of this together and translate all of that into the safety of the community that we serve. So thank you so much.
Good afternoon. What I've drawn from this is the commitment of all the Orange County employees that have partnered and all the support we've had within all the departments, as well as the patience of the public waiting for 2 to 3 to 4 hours in line to be tested. There was extreme patience on their part, and they stayed controlled and very much appreciative once they got to the testing point of the services that we provided.
Okay, so I definitely want to thank my other managers and the sacrifices not only that we have made, but our families have made this last year of being out there in the hot and the cold and the rain. It's been a lot, but it's been totally worth it to be a part of something that is changing the community for the better. I also want to thank all the staff members we've encountered the last year. It's been a wild ride, but it's been a lot of fun, and we've been able to meet a lot of new people within the community that we normally would not have met otherwise. And just, again, another thank you to everyone's families for sticking with us throughout the year. It's been a lot of sacrifices for not just us, but everyone involved. And so I'm just very blessed to have this opportunity, so thank you.
So join me in giving them all a round of applause. I can tell you personally, every adult member of my family got tested at Barnett Park. And because of these individuals, I'm forever grateful. Like the other nearly 1.4 million in Orange County, some of my family members tested positive. And because of what you all did, they were able to understand their status to help protect the remainder of my family and themselves. So again, thank you. Dr. Martinez.
Thank you very much, Mayor. And I just wanted to close by saying that it's a real honor for me to go to work every day, because I know the quality of the individuals that I'm working with, their level of commitment, sacrifice, and giving to help the community. And it's an honor to turn it over to Dr. Raul Pino.
Good afternoon, everyone. The mayor gave you some of the numbers, so I'm going to quickly move through some of them. As the mayor mentioned, the total number of positive cases is 135,932. And remember, that's always underreporting. About 25 to 40% could be asymptomatic. And our recovery rate continued to be at 96%. Our 14-day rolling average is at 7.9. It has improved a little bit in the last 3 days, small, but improving. And for the first time last week, the positivity rate was lower than the week before. So for positivity rate, we take several measures through the different data sets that we have. So that's why we refer constantly to different positivity rate, because we look at it from all the angles. The total number of deaths is at 1,246. The range of the new added, 46 to 97 years old with a median of 75. Unfortunately, 9 additional deaths were added. And just as an information, one of those was from January, and that makes January the deadliest month in the pandemic, as we were kind of expecting it to be, because the difference was 1 or 2 at the time. So that data is in. 2 were female, 7 were male. 2 Asian, 1 black, 1 other, 5 were white. 3 had pre-existing condition, 6 we don't know. 8 of the deaths are from April, as mentioned to you, 1 from January. Also, One of those deaths was in an individual that has the B117 variant. It is the first that we know. It doesn't mean that it has not happened, but officially that is in the data. Although the pandemic precautions continue to be in place, and there were some modifications in the executive order, as I mentioned, explained to you, especially for people who are vaccinated in outdoor environments, we advise people to continue to keep your distance to 3 feet or at least. Please be masked if you feel at risk, especially if you are not vaccinated, and wash your hands as often as you can. Not only for COVID-19, just as hygiene precaution that we should learn from here on. It also prevents the flu. And that's why our flu season has been extremely low. And if you look at the flu data, it's record low for our county, and in part is due to the masking that has been in place. Also, as the mayor modified the executive order, we will advise everyone again that temperature control checks are not necessary, although they give some sense of safety to those who are surrounding you. It really doesn't make any differences. And it's a lot of resources for business and other places just to have one person taking temperatures. So again, temperature control measures are not recommended at this point. Another interesting thing that is happening with vaccines is that we have seen a large number of residents who have not taken their second dose. That number is around between 35,000 to 43,000. And I give in that range because the data needs to be clean, and it gets clean every day. But there are a number of individuals who have not taken the second dose. And if you are interested in taking this dose through a drive-through, it is the time to make the appointments. We're only going to be at the convention center for another 2 days, and that is tomorrow and Saturday. And for both of those days, there is a couple of thousand of appointments for each day available. So please complete your series. Although you acquire some level of protection when you have just one dose, we are not sure how long that will last or how high. Your best chances to get full immunity, it is by having your second dose of Moderna or Pfizer. As the mayor also mentioned, we will be reducing our hours to adjust to the new reality. The number of appointments has reduced significantly. So starting Monday, we are going to only be open from 8 to 5 p.m. at the convention center. We will honor your appointment no matter what time it was scheduled for, but come between 8 and 5 p.m. Also, the convention center is going to be closed the 7th and the 8th of May. We decided to close because we have very few appointments those 2 days. It was only 17 appointments one day, and the other day in the 40s. So we can move those appointments to other days. We are in the process of doing that, but also to give our staff a long Mother's Day weekend, as we have been there since the 26th, and people are tired. So a good break will be very welcome by our staff. And also on May 14th and 15th, we will be giving Moderna for the last time at the convention center. So if anyone is missing the second Moderna, no matter if you had our place or not, you are welcome to make an appointment for the 14th and the 15th of May to get your Moderna shot. We also, let me give you the immunization numbers. We have administered in our county a total of 886,006 doses of vaccines, and non-residents only about 78,432. For the percentage that we are looking at, and the mayor mentioned some of these to you, for residents over 16 that are at least have one dose, we are 43.66%. And that's where we need to get to the 50%. How will we get to the 50%? Well, continue to immunize it at the pace that we are. It probably will take us 3 weeks. There is another thing that could happen pretty quick. If the federal government release some data that we need to put into our systems from the veterans hospitals, but also from the Department of Defense, we could reach that 50% a week from now if that level of data gets released. And we suspect that will increase our percentage from 5 to 8%. So that could happen pretty quick. Now, another interesting number, about 30% of our population over 16 years old has been fully immunized. And just to give you an idea of another age group, our population that is 65 years and older is fully immunized at 71.08%. With that, I will answer any questions that you may have. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mayor.
We're going to open it up for questions. If you have questions for me in Spanish, I will have Ms. Ilia Torres translate for me. We're also joined here today by Commissioner Maribel Gomez-Cordero. If you desire to have any one-on-ones with her, she will be available immediately afterwards. We also have, again, Ms. Sherry Babinski from Orange County Public Schools, who is present today, and we have Tim Boldick, our compliance team manager that is here, and other staff members that may be able to respond to questions. Even Dr. Yolanda Martinez is here today. She's fluent in Spanish as well, so we certainly can answer any of your questions. So with that, we'll open it up at this time.
Eric Mock, Spectrum News 13. Question for Dr. Pino. You had mentioned a number. I just wondered if you could repeat that about how many people have not gotten their second dose and have just kind of, I guess, been okay with just getting a first dose. What's the concern there? Could that hurt our herd immunity if those people don't, come back to get the dose? I mean, that's a lot of people that don't seem to be, really care about that.
Yeah, it does. It does. It could have an impact in the level of protection as those thousands of people have not acquired full immunity. So they are not fully protected to the levels, depending on the vaccines. But for first dose, it's about 60% protection, the number range. And then you acquire into the 90s and high 80s when you have both doses, because you need that second shot. The concern is that, and thanks for asking that question. Let me explain this to people. It doesn't matter how long your first dose was. We will give you your second dose. You don't have to start the series. Let me say that again. So if you have missed your second dose and it was 3 months ago, we will be giving you your second dose without requiring to start the series again. So in case that anyone is out there that is concerned that you may have to start vaccinating again, like it happened with other vaccination, we do have the record, so you don't have to start again. You can come now and have your second doses. But yes, it's concerning that up to the maximum could be around 40,000 people may have not been completed their second doses. Yes, that's concerning.
Buenas tardes, Alibet Suárez con Telemundo 31. Mi pregunta es para Dr. Pino. ¿Cuándo ustedes pronostican que podría comenzar la siguiente fase? En este caso la fase número 3, cuando el 70% de los jóvenes y personas adultas hayan recibido al menos una dosis, ¿podría ayudar el proceso de vacunación a estudiantes que empezó ayer? Y si en este caso continúa la indecisión de los jóvenes a obtener la vacuna, y si me pudiera además decir en español lo que le mencionó, disculpe, al otro reportero, sobre estas personas que recibieron la segunda dosis de inmunidad. Gracias.
It's only one question. Let me say the questions in English first. The question were what it will take to move into the next phase, and if I can explain also what I just explained in English to translate in Spanish. So I'm going to say it first in English, then I will move to Spanish. To get to the second phase, and the second phase is second phase, not third. So we have 2 phases to go. For the second phase, we get to 50%. That could take at the rhythm that we are going up to 3 weeks. If some data changes happen, it could be very rapidly happening to move in the second phase. Now, the third phase, which is at 70%, or 5% or less of positivity rate for the last 14 days. I think that we may get to the 5% positivity rate or less before we get to 70% of the population vaccinated. But also part of your question was, is the high schools approach helping to get to that number? And I think the changes in the strategy that the county and our work has put together, I think it's going to help out to reach now pockets of the population that may have not been able to get to the convention center or get to the Valencia, because we are going to move into the neighborhoods. Now we are going to have fixed shops in the neighborhoods. And that includes the 4 recreation centers that the mayor mentioned, the 4 Magic Gym, and also includes Barnett Parks. So with that, we are getting closer to the population. En español, ¿cuánto nos va a tomar llegar a las diferentes fases? Para la segunda fase tenemos que llegar al 50%, y eso puede suceder relativamente rápido si recibimos bases de datos que no tenemos aún en nuestros récords. Pero sin recibir eso y si continuamos a la misma velocidad que estamos vacunando, nos podría tomar hasta 3 semanas a llegar a la segunda fase. La tercera fase tiene 2 categorías. O llegamos al 70% o llegamos a un 5% de positividad o menos por 2 semanas continuas. Ahí hay 2 medidas que puede suceder lo que suceda primero. Yo pienso que vamos a llegar primero al 5% de positividad que al 70% de inmunización, porque hay un nivel de la gente no se está vacunando ahora a la misma velocidad que lo estábamos haciendo anteriormente. Pero con eso también es una manera de tratar de cambiar nuestra estrategia, como hemos dicho, y vamos a tener centros de vacunación que el county va a tener, el condado, como se dice en español, el condado va a tener en 4 de los centros de recreaciones, y también lo vamos a tener en el Barnett Park. Vamos a estar ofreciendo las vacunaciones más cerca a la población de manera fija. Esos sitios no van a cambiar, van a estar abiertos los 7 días de la semana. También pusimos un horario, viernes, sábados y domingos, un poquito más tarde durante el día, para las personas que trabajan y no pueden tomar tiempo, y para las personas que lo quieran hacer después de la iglesia. Pero incluso el Barnett Park es una buena solución, porque vamos a tener las vacunaciones en el mismo lugar que estamos ofreciendo la prueba. Si alguien se va a hacer la prueba, es porque tal vez no está vacunado. Pues ese es un gran momento para tomar esa oportunidad, y aplaudo al condado por tomar esa medida.
Steve Hudak from the Orlando Sentinel. This is for Dr. Pino. And I guess you can answer this too, Mr. Mayor. What value does testing have at this point, where we have 43% of the people who have been vaccinated, at least 1 dose? What are we getting out of it?
So, that's a question that we are wrestling with. Testing is a component of the recovery, because to be able to isolate and quarantine, you have to know who is positive. So, but the testing volumes are decreasing as the number of immunizations are increasing. But you saw, like yesterday, the Barnett Park just alone did 1,000, and probably the convention center did another 1,000. I wasn't in the call today, but it probably did over 1,000 too. So there are some level of interest. But many places have reduced volume and reduced hours, because part of the process is also to transfer those expenses and resources into immunizing. But our county has the ability to do both right now, and because we have a federally funded site, so that is helping us. But at some point, it's going to decrease the level of testing. Yes, that's in the works.
What I would add is that sometimes when we come in here, we talk about numbers, but these are human beings, and this is a human experience that we're living through. And to me, what testing does, it gives you confidence. It gives you peace of mind. If you are feeling sick, if you feel like you have been exposed, it allows you to know your specific status so that you don't continue to spread it to a loved one or anyone else. And so that's why people really desire to be tested. That's why we still see thousands each day who want to know what their status is. And I think as a community, we owe it to our public to provide that opportunity to them to have that peace of mind as we live through this pandemic, a human experience. So what I try to do in my leadership role is to not to dehumanize the experience that we are living through, have been living through now for the last year plus. Okay.
Lauren Seabrook, Channel 9. My question's for Dr. Pino. As we work toward trying to reach these milestones, 50%, 70%, 79%, one of the biggest questions I'm getting from the public right now is why we never talk about natural immunity and how much that could add to the numbers that we have. Could you explain maybe why we don't talk about that, and if there are any efforts to try to find out how much natural immunity is out there?
So no efforts that I know trying to find natural immunity, but I'm pretty sure some researchers are working on it for sure, because it's a very interesting question, not only for the community at large, but also for the scientific community as well. Part of the issue is that we don't know what level of immunity you acquire, and we don't know how long it lasts. And part of the question then is we will have to calculate when the person was infected, how long after, and it's not the same for everyone. It may not be the same effect for everyone. So that's why calculating that into the equation could be misleading the decision-making process. And part of also is reflected in the positivity rate. If the immunity was so high in the community by the addition of immunization, but also natural immunity, and if we have 135,000 cases, our positivity rate should not be as high as it still is. And that's one of the factors. Also, so that people understand, when you are taking these type of decisions and making these type of statements, you have to always land on the side of caution, because things could change very rapidly. And you have to have the ability to be able to modify the steps that you have taken, either accelerating if we get much more data, or slowing down the process if the infection rates go too high. So there are so many. Now it seems to be leveling down. Hospitalizations in some of the systems are down, although in general for the entire county has plateaued. And it looks like we are over the bump from the holidays and from the Easter holiday and the spring break. So we are expecting this to continue to decline as immunizations continue to elevate. What we have to do is try to get as many people immunized as possible. But again, if our level of immunity were as large as people may think, by just simply adding vaccination plus infections, our positivity rate will not be in the 7%.
I have one question coming in, Mayor, to you from Lauren with WKMG, and she asks, where can businesses sign up to have the mobile vaccination unit come to their businesses and vaccinate employees? And are there any requirements, or can businesses apply?
Go ahead,
I have an answer for that. I was supposed to take that, and I forgot about it, so my apologies. So in our webpage, there is a form in the landing page that people can enter all the information that we are requiring, so businesses and institutions can invite us to their places to go and vaccinate. Now, what is going to happen? The expectation is we will review those entries, determined based on availability of the mobile unit, because the mobile unit has a schedule already things, activities. We will rank those places based on the number of people that we can vaccinate. How can we group it together? It will be more than one place that are close by, so we may do more than one or two. But also the need to be patient that we will contact you, we'll get in touch with you, and we will provide you with immunization date if we can make it happen.
Dr. Pino, I actually was waiting for that announcement, which is why I didn't have a question until now. Can we talk about the benefits that this could have to the businesses, communities? And are we talking businesses with 50 employees, 100, 1,000? And the theme parks too, could they apply for this? If you could talk a little bit more about that.
So the theme parks, some of the theme parks are already vaccinating the employees. I believe Disney is doing it. And they are, Universal also acquired some vaccines through Walgreens to vaccinate some of their employees. And other places are also looking and doing that. But yes, anyone is welcome. It doesn't matter the size of the business. What it matters is how many people are we going to be able to vaccinate. For us, it's very important, 5, 10, 20, 40, 50. We want to vaccinate everyone. But the reality of having a number is because we have to defrost the vaccine. We have to have some planning, and we need to know how many nurses we have to send into the mission. So that form will be open tomorrow in our webpage, and businesses or individuals, it could be a group of friends that want to get together. It could be anyone that is congregating, anyone who wants to get vaccinated. Go there, fill the form, we will rank it. We probably would try for the biggest places earlier, but we will try to vaccinate as many as possible.
Okay, I think that was the final question for today. Let me just thank all of you for coming. Any of our staff who've been working in this, they're available for one-on-ones, or Commissioner Gomez-Cordero. The next press briefing will be this coming Monday, I believe that's the 3rd, at 4:30 p.m.